Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've done a stream or worked on the mod. Just been kind of busy with work and whatnot, but yeah, it's been a while since we've worked on tier 3, so now we're back at it, and I've done a bit on my own time without telling you guys, unfortunately, or streaming it. And no, I am not late actually. I clicked the go live at exactly 3 o'clock, so I'm just on time. Please let me know if the music's a little loud or any problems with the volume. So far, here's, I guess, progress on the Mordor armor. I believe last time I streamed, we only had the helmets and the tunic finished, essentially. Just the helmets and tunics. And yeah, this is the first. That was the first helmet. This is the second one. This is our third one. And then the fourth one's right here. So since then, some, I would say, significant progress. Yeah, so this is the new chest plate. I think it's a lot more film accurate. Actually, I'll get references going here. And then the pauldrons. I'm a big fan of these. And I've come with two bracer variations so far. So let's find them right here. Yeah, I have one. This is the first variation I have, and then this is the second one. So I'm fiddling around here. Second variation right here. Turn down the music a bit so I can hear myself. But yeah, so far this is what we got, and for today the plan is I really don't know what I'll be working on. I'm just gonna kind of go with it, just see what needs to be done. Maybe more bracers. That's likely. And yeah, maybe just it's just some bracers, and then I'll maybe do some material stuff as well. So a lot of good stuff happening, I think. So yeah, I think we'll start. So this is kind of one I think I've made. I'll go with maybe making low poly for this one next. I've made just kind of a basic arm piece right here, and then maybe today we'll also do some gloves. I'd like to do gloves and then a bit of hand armor. Maybe I think that'd be cool. Okay. So yeah, let's work on another bracer. So I've actually been kind of copying these straps here from the other bracers, just kind of copy and paste them, because just so they're easy to make. Because these little straps are kind of annoying and stuff. So let's start off with a new. I'm essentially just gonna take these straps here. I'm going to duplicate them, and then I'm going to take the old thing, hide it, and then I can just go here, edit these ones. I'm just going to rename these, make sure I'm following naming conventions, just so it's easier to organize. Oops. And yeah, so let's go to this one here. yeah, my little reference thing is in the top right. And oops. Yeah, it's just gonna be two simple plates. Maybe something a little interesting curve here of some sort. Or maybe a little fold up at the bottom there. Actually, a really good base for this is my first bracer. I wouldn't mind taking just one of these plates because it's already curved nicely and has like a good kind of topology on it. So I like that. So I think I'm gonna stick with that. And I can hide this. And let's go join. Okay. Are you just trashing the current assets, or will these just be supplementing them for variation? I think these are gonna completely replace the old assets. I don't think the old ones really have a place anymore. They don't look that great, and I've kind of just remade it all essentially. And yeah, and the material is also going to be different, so I have to redo the material because the old material is kind of really shiny. I don't know if you've seen them in game. Like, and also like the thing with shininess in Attila is if it's too reflective, like it looks really good it's going to be really bright on one side and then really dark on the other. Like you might notice if you're looking at some of the units from one side, they look fine and shiny and whatever, but then you look at them from the dark side, the shadow side where the sun's not facing, and it's just impossible to see them. So likely I'll stick with we're gonna stick with only these assets and get rid of the old ones. I don't really see a good place for them, and I don't mind throwing them out. It's nice to redo them. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing. Hello, hi Auntie. It's nice to see some other devs in the stream, maybe giving me some feedback. Dane 2 Ironfoot, he looks too skinny. I can widen it a bit, but we're gonna be adding more armor and stuff. Like there's gonna be like neck armor, and I'll see what I can do for maybe just the elbows and belt and whatnot. But other than that, I'm simply following references. Actually, they do. I guess they look heavy here. I'll see what I can do, but how I'm going about it right now is simply making the armor that I see and maybe adjusting later. We'll see. Alright. So yeah, let's go back to the little bracer we were working on here. So it's kind of sharper. So we can do that, I guess. Let's go here. Let's just sharpen it a bit, and then slide these edges up. And then it's just kind of two plates, and there's one strap here and then one strap there. So this one will reach this strap, or maybe I can just like move this up a bit here. And yeah, I'd have to adjust it because of this part of the arm, but and maybe I could also whoops, did not mean to do that. Yeah, keep in mind around the waist area, we're gonna have tassets here that'll add some width to the hips, and then there's gonna be a big kind of bulk of chainmail here of sorts. But I am once again, yeah, just sort of kind of basing it off what I see here. In terms of width and stuff. And we'll add more armor to him. We can add a few plates upon plates. Although, will you create characters like Aragorn or Legolas? I would love to see Prince. No. At the moment, we're not. That might be something later we're gonna work on for the campaign, like custom generals and whatnot. But at the moment, I would say don't expect to see it like in the next couple updates. Let's just put these in place. And then actually we can extend the armor here a bit, I guess, instead of only moving the strap. And whoops, I messed something up. Okay. Holy, okay. Skinny these out a bit, because these are a bit out of place almost. Just kind of fade this in. And move these in place. You should do the neck guard. Not today, not right now. I'll do the neck later, but I am going to do a neck guard eventually. Just not right now. I like to do kind of the accessories kind of last. Like I like to get the base armor done. And then something like the neck guard, right? I want to make all, like for example, it makes sense to make, you know, the chest plate and the pauldrons first before making the neck guard, because then you can see how much room you have here, right? Like if I made the neck guard first and then I went to do the pauldrons and I had to push them kind of aside because there's no room, right? So you do the main armor first and then stuff like the neck guard and whatnot, that comes later, right? Maybe kind of work just kind of inside out, I guess. So do you think there's enough room on the upper arms to add chainmail under the pauldron? I was actually thinking about that. I was thinking about that because there isn't chainmail here, and I noticed in the reference there is chainmail. So I'm probably gonna try to fit that in. That'll probably be something I do, and it's gonna like kind of go in here and in here. But that, yeah, I will try that. I don't think I'm gonna put chainmail here. In all my references, there isn't really chainmail, and even there's other references that are like not these ones, and most of them didn't show chainmail around the midsection. There might be a few images where there are, but I don't know. Right. One second. Okay, so I think we got that upper armor piece here. It's kind of sort of attached to the strap. We'll just make sure that it's on it. What's my favorite faction? Obviously the Mordor faction. I don't understand why you would ask that. Okay. Okay. And then what we'll do here is I'm just going to create the start of another piece. And just kind of set out, you know, the bare bones. Another pauldron piece. And then this one also kind of spikes up on top of the other armor, and it has a kind of a little flat edge there. I might have to add more polys for that. Okay, let's go like this. This entire armor is a bit off. Just gonna get that there. When will Galadrin be worked on? I don't know. Believe it or not, a lot of our team, like everyone, we sort of know what everyone else is working on, but like at the same time, it's just kind of everyone picks something and works on it. And I would say I kind of just focus on my own thing. I'm not really paying attention to what the others are doing. Well, I sort of am, like, you know, supporting and like I know the big things, I guess. But I really couldn't tell you who's working on what unit. But Manu was, I think, our elf guy, but I'm pretty sure now he's just focused more on management. So I couldn't tell you. Don't expect a lot of big leaks from me. That's gonna look awkward. Looks like and just making sure this fits. Yeah, I see that this kind of bulge looks really weird. It doesn't really fit kind of very nicely into Hello Tom, thanks for your comment, man. I really like some of the things you're making, man. I won't spoil anything. The people watching, they should watch your streams to figure out, but I do love the work. Yeah, as Tom was saying, it'll probably be a while. Okay. Now I gotta get that piece on the edge right there. So maybe something like this. And something like this. Just give myself some more polys to work on. I'm just kind of maybe goes in like this. I'm thinking it goes up like this. Like this. I don't know. I kind of want a bit more of a rounded edge here, and I'm gonna do that. It'll cost me polys, but actually I have a smart way of doing this. This is a really good poly trick because I have to keep quads all the time. This is a smart way to get more polys without adding too much, right? Because everything here is still 4 sides. Because essentially what you don't want is the more if you add this, like let's just say I want another point here between these 2 points. Like I want another point there. Now, if I added a point here, if I just did this, and then I did this, and look, I have another point here, and I can move it around to get more definition. But now this shape has 5 points, which you don't like, because it's going to create weird triangles that you can't predict. So what you do is you have to add an edge loop to the entire length of the thing. And if you do that, then you still have squares everywhere, or 4 sides, not squares, yeah, like 4-sided shapes everywhere. But it seems like, you know, you're adding a lot of faces that you don't want just for one edge. So is that worth it? Well, there are a few little tricks you can do, like this one here, which gives me an edge free edge without adding, with only keeping quads without adding an edge along the entire length of the thing. So a little cool Easter egg trick for polygons if you ever get into modeling. But yeah, now I'm able to get more definition on that spot and without adding an edge loop everywhere. So that's a little tip for you. Yes, Tom Romain is our concept artist, and he is crazy. First of all, huge speed on pumping out concepts. So we have so much before, for a lot of units we were working on, you know, we were really missing a lot of concept art. We were like, it was just kind of trying to find images of stuff, artists, like other artist depictions from like other games and whatnot, and like finding maybe one scene from the movie where we could find this unit or whatnot. But now with like a dedicated concept artist who's you know, devoted and works fast, we can actually, like, you know, we want to work on a unit, I can ask Tom, he can create an amazing piece of concept art, like for example this tier 3 here, which is super useful, and it's been super helpful. So yeah, cheers to Tom. Okay. So once again, just kind of make it a little sharp edge there. That. I think that's a bit good. Just kind of get the general shape, really, and then we'll do that little trick I talked about. Like that. Bam, all quads, and just smoothing out that edge. So that sort of gets that shape, I think, that we're looking for. Maybe I can extend this edge down still a bit. I'll do that. Just kind of get these plates overlapping. Oh, am I pressing? Okay, there we go. It does seem there's a bit more room between these plates here. Like maybe I should, I don't know why I moved the strap up, but I don't know. It's whatever. Keep it as it is, I think. Scale this down a bit on this side. Starting to look a little kind of bulbous in this direction. And I can kind of refine this area down here, and then it's just gonna. I'll make a little lip on this one at the end. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Yeah, I have taught a fair amount of people Blender before, mostly my friends, schoolmates. We try to work on some projects here and there, and so yeah, I have gone through multiple Discord calls with people explaining this kind of stuff, I guess. So I think I have a bit of, you know, just a tiny bit of Blender teaching experience. A wee bit. Yeah. So, basically the process for making these kind of plates is, it's pretty simple. You know, you kind of get a good base of something that follows the curvature of the arm, and then you can, from there, just kind of move everything around and adjust it so it's kind of tight around the arm, but at the same time, it takes the cool shape of the armor, you know, interesting curves and whatnot. But it is a lot of just, you know, finicking and moving vertices here and there, so it all kind of fits and works together. And I'm using modifiers to my advantage. I have a thickness modifier here, which automatically, you can see that, for example, that has thickness, but I'm only moving one edge. So that modifier is really helpful because it just automatically gives the armor thickness for me instead of me doing it myself. Okay. Just rounding this corner off, because I don't think you're likely to see those kind of sharp corners on the edge of the armor. And then I want really just a freaking tiny, actually I'll extrude this out a bit and do that. Just lift it almost, just get a tiny, tiny, tiny lip. You'll have to see the orc stubby little toes. Yeah, we did model the full thing. I didn't make this model, the orc model. That was made by an old artist on the team named Hakan. He's still kind of in the Discord, but he's only, I don't think he peeks in very often, but he is a great artist, I will say. He did the new Trolls sculpt, I believe, I think. So that's the guy who made this orc model, but this orc model was made before I worked on the team, and I worked on the team. I joined the team years ago, like years ago. I think the only people who are still here from the time I was around was me, Victimized, and Maestro. Everyone after that is newer than me. Actually, maybe Dumont was also there around the time I was there. So yeah, I've been around for a while. Just been working kind of slow though. Okay. A little bit of a lip on the edge. And once again, I will have to adjust all these straps for the left arm here. But overall, I think not bad. We're just pumping up variations, really. We're gonna get a bunch of variations for this unit. I know that's something all of you guys have been wanting. So we're gonna get that. We'll get that. Ragnarok, yes, I'm also excited for these guys to come out. I'm hoping to overhaul the Mordor roster. You know, it's a little, you know, it hasn't been shown the love it needs. I think the upper tiers are good. I really like Morgul Legion, and I love my Guards of the Teeth unit. That's my favorite unit that I've made. So yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully the tier 3 will be really nice. So yeah, and then after that, you guys wanted me to redo the faces for all of Mordor, essentially. Just make a bunch of new face variations. So I'll be working on that, and then maybe after that I'll fix tier 2. And then maybe from there I can actually start working on a different faction, which will be very, very, very exciting. That'll be quite a change, because I've been doing this Mordor, the same type of armor style, for the entire time I've been here, years. Yeah, good to see channel has passed 4K subs. Yeah, that's a big milestone. You know, the channel's been getting a lot of views ever since we just kind of gave attention to it, right? Like we never really posted on it before or really did anything. But I think all of you guys have noticed recently that we've been pushing a lot, trying to get the mod out there. You know, trying to get a social media presence almost. You know, because we're starting to make some big advancements. Like things are changed for the good. Like, believe it or not, the team has gone through some pretty rough times, and there have been disagreements and unwanted kind of parties and motivation issues and whatnot, and months of silence. So it's good now that there's a kind of a good system, a bit more organized, professional, and then also getting outreach, getting attention, means more people are more like when you have a bigger kind of community, you kind of feel like your work is almost worth something, right? I don't know if I feel that way exactly, but I know that that's an incentive for some people. That it really helps to have a larger community watching what you're doing, because you feel like there's people using your mod stuff, and also to like directly with the Discord and this streams, for example, where I can directly interact with you guys and see kind of live what people are saying and stuff. It really does make a difference. And when's the update coming, Mr. Glove? I can't say. I think most of you guys have figured out by now. It's pretty taboo to ask for update information, so I'm gonna say nothing. The Mortal Legion, the guys, they're such masterpieces. I'm really excited for the T2 work. Thank you. Yeah. Well, tier 2 might be a while. I think it's gonna take some time to do the faces because I'm gonna have to brush up on my sculpting a bit. But yeah, hopefully Mordor will be done. Maybe I can say maybe a year by the end of this year. Mordor could be completely redone. Yeah, I don't like Orc Warriors very much. It's a lot of old assets kind of thrown together. Most of them being mine, actually. But I like the weapons. But Orc Warriors are also made by basically how it worked was everyone who was being trained, which was like at the time 6 or 7 of us when we were being trained. We were working on Mordor, and so all Orc Warriors is essentially the work of like 7 different newbie artists and it was just kind of mangled together to make that unit. So that's why it may not look the greatest. And most of the assets aren't being used, but the ones that stuck I think are mostly mine, except for the helmets. The helmets are, and some of the chestplates are made by someone else. I think that guy's long gone. But yeah, Orc Warriors was not made by one person, and it was training essentially. And so that's maybe why they look like that. Yeah, I wouldn't want my faction to be dull golder. I want to move on to something cleaner. Maybe, I don't know, baby elves or something, I don't know, or Arno or faction of men. No more orcs or creatures or gross armor. Spiky armor. I want something clean and simple. Maybe I get to do some sculpting detail work on the armor. That's yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so I say next we do some gloves. I think I'm gonna stick it to 3 variations for the bracers. I think that's fair amount. So considering basically how it is right now, is there's 4 helmet variations. There's 1 chestplate so far, and I don't know if I'll keep it at that, because this is just this chestplate's really iconic, and I think it's almost every single unit I've ever seen of tier 3 has this. Every like reference picture, almost every single one is this armor. So I'll see what I have to do about that. The pauldrons, I'm not seeing many, like even in the references, it's mostly the same. It's this kind of thing, and even in a lot of my just reference pictures, it's kind of that same armor. So I might make one it's this armor here. Almost every single soldier has it. Right? I might make a few variations where I take off maybe some of the top plate, so it's like simpler almost, just looks like this. And then I have one with this more armor here. So that's that might be a variation for the pauldrons. I'm not sure yet. Bracers, I don't know why, but I decided to make 3 because it's just really easy and I easily pump them out. So yeah, that's 3 variations for bracers done. I don't think I'll add any more because I don't really need that many. I'll do the gloves next. It'll be 1 variation, maybe, and then I'll have to make the belt here with this chainmail. I'll make like 2 variations there. One that's just belt and chainmail, and then one that's belt, chainmail, and then this kind of belt piece here with the armor. Tassets, 1 variation. I'm not going to have a version with no tassets. I think they're all going to have tassets. and it's gonna be the same tacits. And greaves, I think I might do 2 greaves. I know this one, I'm for sure making this one, and this is also on the old unit. And I don't know yet about the other one. Maybe something like this, or like, I don't know about this one. I'll see. But that's, yeah, in terms of variation, that might be what is going to happen. And then maybe some neck armor as well, some 2 variations for neck armor seems good. I'm liking what Tom did here. This one guarded one here, and then one that's just kind of fur. So now let's work on gloves, and then after that I'll work just on some high poly stuff, because this has all been low poly modeling. And the only things here that have high poly is the helmets, the tunic, and the chestplate. I haven't done the high polys and materials for the bracers, the pauldrons, so we can work on that. We need more faces. Yeah, I did say I would work on more Uruk and orc faces after this unit. So yeah. Legs number 3. I disagree. I don't know. Just because it's segmented and it has plates, that doesn't really immediately make it better. You know what I mean? I'll have to see. So let's do gloves. Okay, gloves pretty easy. I'm just gonna literally take the hands and make them bigger, slightly bigger, and then change the shape a bit because I'm gonna make them a bit chunkier. It's gonna be like leather gloves, so it's gonna be almost more squarish on the fingers. And so let's do that actually. So let's hide, and I only need. Kind of need to be having the tunic here ready to play with. So, let's say maybe here. That's a good spot for the gloves. Also, we can okay. So are these mirrored? It's not mirrored, but that's fine. I can mirror them. Yeah, that's fine. Split them. Trying to figure out. Yeah, okay. So then Control L, Shift D, selection. Now I want that full orc body again. Let's go there, and let's go merge by distance. Okay. Oops. Let's try that again. So now I should have a normal hand again. Yeah, okay. And then I also now have here. I also have here the other hand here, which is good. Okay, that is this. I want to rename it. It's gonna be throne. Gloves _01 underscore melody1 underscore low poly. Okay. And then I'm gonna mirror these. Did not mean to do that. Okay. Now the big thing we're just gonna do here is select this. Let's go solidify. Let's go F3 and let's go flip. This is gonna make him a little bit thicker, but I don't think we want him that thick. Is that good? Nope, that's too much. Oops. I think that'll give us the thickness that we want on the gloves, essentially. So essentially, yeah, what I'm doing is I'm just making kind of an outer layer, just so they're slightly larger than the hands. How many factions are you guys planning to have when it's all finished? I believe that information is on our Trello, so in the description we have a Trello, and that's just information. You get to see all the factions that we're going to work on, the progress on them, and all the units in each faction. So that could answer my question way better than I could now. So I would highly recommend going there. I wish I could use Blender and help out. Well, you know what? You gotta start somewhere. You know, like, don't be afraid to just kind of pick up the software and just go at it. You know, you learn by doing, right? So, yeah, if you're interested, if this interests you, then I would be fully supporting you and giving it a try. Okay, why is this happening? That does not look right. Well, can I select things? Oh, I'm in edit mode, that's right. Is this the normal hand? I don't know why they're not. So this body is not actually perfectly mirrored. That's really interesting. Doesn't matter, I'll make a version of this this guy with no hands. I think there might be just a version of his head anyway. So that'll be good. Okay, that's fine. We're not going to see that, so why don't we get rid of this and then just work on these gloves here. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the thickness. Okay, I don't want these bugging me here, and then I'm going to essentially just kind of hollow out the inside, because we don't even really need that. Here I'm going to see the inside of these hands. That's already fixed, and then I'm just going to make these slightly smaller so it doesn't clip with the tunic. Just go around here, and then if I go tunic, yeah, no clipping issues. Goes into the hand pretty well. Other side, all good. Bam, gloves almost finished. That was so easy, right? I know. Now I just need to change a few things, because we're going to do a bit of work on this. I want these gloves to look, they're going to essentially be almost squarish on the fingers, because the gloves are going to be a little thicker. I wonder if I can, yeah, maybe also flatten the ends a bit, because you know how gloves, if they're like longer than your fingers a bit, they're a little flat on the end. So let's do that here. Let's flatten these out a bit. Yeah, just making a little thinner on the ends here. That's a little weird. I think that's like rotating the finger a bit. That's fine. That look a little weird, but that's fine. And then we want to square these up a bit. So I'm gonna actually, okay. Let's take these inner edges here that make it round, and let's move them in a bit. Same thing with this. Just kind of want, at the same time I don't want these fingers to get smaller actually, because I want the fingers to retain their bulk. But yeah, you get really finicky when you play with hands. I don't really like the tight cramped spaces, but let's try this. This looks a little weird. Who cares? Okay. I might even just leave it like this. Just make sure this is looking a little tight there. I don't like that. That seemed a little out of place there. And just making sure this is all good and set up for sculpting. Because that's where I'm going to do a lot of the details and whatnot. Okay. Also, just so this doesn't look off, we'll get rid of the material on that. And that's the high poly. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Okay. Oof. And then, yeah, we can sculpt the gloves. Actually, we'll do the hand armor, because that'll be part of the gloves. So let's do that right now. Let's go. Ooh, Shift A. This is okay, no flipping. Perfect. Trolls, wargs, definitely goats, not spiders. I don't know. Don't know what you're referring to there. Will there be archers for the dwarves, like any other ranged? Yeah, I think the chat already answered that for you. But also keep in mind, Trello has the list of all the units. Once again, I know it might start getting a little annoying, but if people are asking about units, I will most likely refer to you to the Trello, because that is the guideline that I'm following for units. Oh. Why is that in this direction? Oh, I'm local, that's why. Okay, and maybe like here, and here, and then let's get rid of that and let's round this off a bit. This is a good way to make a kind of nice, really arced shape. What I do is I use this proportional editing tool. I select the middle and lift it up, and it'll move everything with it. Then I just keep arcing it, essentially just moving it a bit down the middle. Just to get that nice natural arc. Actually, the hands are not that arced. I don't know why I did that. That's fine. Extrude it out a bit. And I think that's really all that's kind of necessary for. Actually, no, that's not right. I should probably keep some edges there. Same thing here, I guess. Right. That's good. Okay. Take this and then just put this into place. Actually, I kind of want it. You know what I want? I want the knuckles to kind of show up a bit. So it's like, boom. Just need a little sharper. This is way too high poly for a freaking whatever. Who cares? Your computers will feel this a bit. If you're lagging, you'll know why. It's because of this one set of gloves. But it looks cool, right? So that's what's important. Just trying to make it a little more interesting looking. Something like that. I would like to move this out, that's fine. Okay, let's go here. Scale it into size. And rotate here, line it up. Scale it down a bit more. Find that plane, rotate it here. Still off a bit, and then just position it where it needs to be. And then from here I'll also adjust. Make sure, I guess, yeah, there is a bit of curvature on the hand, more than I thought. So I'll make sure this just is tight on the hand. It's about moving it. Yeah, I want this to be tight. And okay. That doesn't look right there. This needs to be not so sharp. Flare this up a bit more. Maybe lift. Oops. That was right. Just a little bit like that. It's good. So these are kind of far. I kind of want these to slide these over down a bit. Yeah. Also, feel free, once again, if you have questions about maybe the process, about this unit, requests, comments, anything, feel free to type them in chat. I'll try my best to answer. But if it is, just keep in mind, if it is about what units there are and whatnot, I will probably refer you to the Trello. That's my only rule, I guess. So, yeah. Okay. Right, and then we'll do, let's go here and then we'll extrude it a bit. Just like that. Give it a bit of thickness. And that's one glove. And okay, I think that's good. Okay, so do you guys think it's worth going for another glove variation? Like, is it noticeable enough that I should do maybe this rounded one here, or should I go straight to start doing some high polys? Because that could seriously use some work right now. Because I have a lot of low polys here, but none of these are kind of processed, which I think they could use right about now. You know what? Let's do some high polys. Maybe we'll go on to yeah. So I'll leave the decision up to you guys. Should I do high poly of the pauldrons or the bracers? Pauldrons or bracers? I also keep in mind for the bracers I have 3 variations here. I have 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think I should go with? High poly for pauldrons or high poly for bracers? I'll wait a bit because I personally don't have a preference. We have 1 for pauldrons. Is Momoko going to be a thing? I don't know if, you know what? Fine, I'll say it. Yeah, I think likely, yeah. That's something we're trying to work on, but once again, it is very difficult to do custom creatures. Like, that's probably something you'll see, one of the last things you'll see added. Yeah, I think it's just confirmed, yeah. They are planned, but can't say we're working on it right now. Okay, most people are saying pauldrons, so actually, yeah, an overwhelming majority. I don't think anyone said bracers, so we'll work on the pauldrons, I guess. Oops, I didn't even name them. That's bad of me. Rook throne underscore pauldrons. LOD1. Okay. Let's do the high poly. So let's basically get rid of this. Oops, I did not mean to get rid of that. Pauldrons. Okay, yeah, this armor's starting to add up, guys. He's getting there. So let's duplicate this. So maybe by the end of today, I'll finish the stream by getting this high poly like all done in substance, like the material and whatnot, everything finished. So this is my low poly here, and let's finish this low poly and then we'll get to the high poly. So we'll apply the mirror, and solidify. Oops, I should not have applied the mirror. The mirror I'll do last. Mr. Gloves, bracers. I think that's a little late. That train has passed, I think. Okay, so we'll keep the mirror so we can easily just kind of work on one side, and then I think I want the chest plate for this. So there's almost chance you can't see the back of. Wait, let's get the tunic in as well. So I'll keep the underneath of this plate and this plate, but other than that, you're never gonna see the other side of any of these plates. They're all too tight. So yeah, what I'm doing right now is I'm just saving your guys' computers by not keeping everything, like all the faces. Like I'm gonna get rid of all the faces that you don't see, which are like these inside ones here. So let's get rid of those, because you guys do not need these. Your computer doesn't need these. You don't need these. You're not gonna see these. I'm not gonna see these because they're gone. But let's see the tunic here, and yeah, you're never gonna see. Yeah. Also, you're never gonna see the underneath, right? You're always looking at the unit from like at the front or above, so you can never look underneath, which is a little fun fact that I'm sure none of you guys knew. So let's do that. Whoops, I just realized what I did. Okay, and then the back of these. Once again, I'm not bothering with the little belt kind of buckle, the little metal bit there that goes in, because that's kind of just too small to notice. Matte, I would likely, since I don't do DB, like I can't change the values of anything. You probably want to put that in. Where is it? Either not feed, but suggestions. Put that in suggestions. That's where I would put that if you want to. Yeah, because I don't do DB. I don't really have a say in that. Yeah, Fingus beat me to it, I guess. Or wait, is this? Can I see the underneath of this one? No, I can't. Okay. And then I can see the underneath of these two, so I'll keep these back 2 rows of faces. And if you're seeing the underneath of this one, yeah, there's no chance you're seeing these 2 back rows here. Okay. Yeah. That's good. And also because I have the mirror modifier, whatever I do to this side, I do the other side. So all these changes have already been made, which is perfect. And then I might do the UV unwrapping. So I don't know how many of you, I don't recognize very many of you guys here, so I don't know how many of the people watching right now have seen my previous streams. So I don't mind re-explaining UV unwrapping. So this part is essentially where you take your model. Oh, whoops, I forgot to do something. And you lay it out flat on an image texture so that you can put a picture on it, essentially, and that picture is going to be this texture. So you have a model, which is all the 3D points in space and whatnot, and then you put a texture on it. So you map a texture to it, and UV mapping is a way of telling the computer what part of an image texture goes where, because a texture is a 2D image, and you want to put it on a 3D object. So each one of these faces is flat, and you could put a piece of picture on that. Do you make the armor thicker? this is the thickness this armor is at. You have to keep in mind that, like, look at, if you look at a reference here, look at the thickness of that. That is, it's pieces of plate. Like, you can't make this armor like super thick, right? Like, that's just not realistic. Like the armor here, it's thin plate, so I'm just following my references. But if you're talking about the overall bulk of the character, yeah, I can work on that. I can, I guess, add some thickness and whatnot to it, you know. But this plate, I'm not making thicker. This is how it's gonna be. So actually, this is all really convenient because these are just kind of a bunch of flat pieces here, and flat pieces are really good just to kind of project. So I accidentally messed that up. I do love the soundtrack. Mark Seam UV. I'm not going to do that ever again. Okay. Mark Seam there. And then yeah, so basically these red marks, I'm just making essentially cut marks, and the model will essentially be split on those red lines. So for example, you can see here, actually if I select this, it'll automatically select where I'm splitting it. So if I select this face, it's going to select what this part is going to be. So there's this section of model is going to be laid out flat. Same thing here, right? This red line kind of splits it off from the rest of the model. And those are going to be kind of little islands essentially that you can place on a texture to, you know, that you could then put an image or whatever on. So just selecting the other edge here. Yeah. So yeah, overall, let's see. Okay, we have body, gloves. Let's pick this. I like this helmet. Got a lot of helmets. Tunic. One part of the belt. Bracer. Chest plate. This is progress. Essentially, like if you look at it here, this is like the upper half, and I think that's it's got plenty of, it's a fair amount of armor, and we still haven't done the bottom half, right? And the bottom half will be pretty a bit thicker, right? It's gonna have the tassets here, which will give it some width. Nice chainmail here, large belt, maybe some belt armor. Also, the top half I'm also gonna add the neck armor, and I could try to maybe widen out the chest a bit. We'll see. And then greaves and whatnot. We are kind of actually like most of the way there. Not really, actually. No, that was a lie. The legs are easier. It's essentially pants and feet, tassets, greaves, and then the chainmail. It's the upper half that's a lot tougher, right? You have like the helmets and then the neck armor, then chest plate and pauldrons and bracers and hands and gloves and whatnot. So the hard part is getting done. Thank you, Hayanti. Appreciate it. Okay, let's get rid of all this again. And let's focus back on UV unwrapping. So yeah, once again, just laying out the texture. Oops, okay. into little islands that you can split. Am I revamping weapons as well? Yep, I will be remaking all the weapons. The shield is awful. Oh man, the shield is so bad. You want us? Okay. The shield is actually, it's actually kind of dysfunctional. Like it has some big problems. Like it's not even, the model itself is completely flawed. So I don't even want to start about the shield for tier 3. And it's only one shield and one weapon. I don't think the weapon's that bad, but the shield is, ooh. Yeah, there were some mistakes made on tier 3. It needed a rework. I think you guys could tell. Easily not the greatest unit in the mod. Will they all have red clothes, or will they have variations too? So the base right now is red cloth, but I can, there's a way what I can do is I can just use some simple textures to, there's a tint variation in the game, like it's a feature in game where you can kind of just change the tints, and I can essentially create a range of variation. So, that would be the reason. That would be, yeah, there will be variation for the cloth, but slight color variations, which I can easily do with tints. So let me find it. This will be tough to find. Yeah, so this is the tunic. What's up? Skinny because meat is not back on the menu, right? Here's the current tunic. Here's the tunic right now, which I like. I think it turned out really nice. This is my first or second attempt at Marvelous, so I like it. You know, I like the way it turned out, and I got a little frayed on the bottom, and I think I got some good folds on it. So I'm happy about the tunic. But I was gonna show you the old shields, right? Let's see. Substance painter. Is it Mordor? Maybe. I really don't know. It's so unorganized. It's not that. Oh yeah, this is tier 2. Let's see, helmet. I don't mind looking back at some of my old stuff here. So you can have multiple skin tones for the orcs as well. Yep, you can. I don't think this helmet is in game. This is an old helmet of mine. Made a really long while back. I don't think this one's in game. That one wasn't awful. What's this one? I want to see what this one is. Oh, this one is in game. Oh, this is that. Yeah, this is Morgul Legion. This is Morgul Legion. Oh, this is. I thought this was. Yeah, Morgul Orcs. That makes sense. Yeah. I thought this was tier 2 for a second. Yeah, I like this stuff. I like this unit. My favorite, I actually really like the sword of this unit. Yeah, so this unit wasn't terrible, yeah. I think you guys like Morgul Legion, I do too. Let's go, have you ever accidentally saved over something very important, losing an entire skin or something? I can't say that's happened to me, no. No, I haven't really. I like this sword. This sword, I think, had a really good material for this one. I might save this material. This is a really good material. The straps, alright. You know, it's sculpted and looks okay. But could use some work. But I did like this. I did really like this sword, and I think the material is really good for it. Oh, what's the shield? I can't remember what tier 3 shield looks like because they have halberds. Oh yeah, this one didn't make it to the game. Yeah, this had a skull on it originally, but we switched some things around. Morgul Legion is the utmost best mortar unit right now, but I hope those tiers will take it. I like Morgul Legion, but I take offense to that because I really like Guards of the Teeth a lot more. So I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. Yeah, I like the teeth. There's the helmet. I really like Yeah, I was really trying on this. I think I had an old version and then this new version. I was really just trying to highlight the text. I was really trying to get that to stand out. It just wasn't because it was so thin on the high poly. But I am a big fan of the helmet. Achoo. Why is this dude's voice changed? This doesn't sound like the same person I was listening to and watching before, and he doesn't read chat, whoever he is. Yeah, I think Fingus answered your question there. There are multiple of us that, this is the channel. We have like different developers that work on, different things. We have Roosty working on like Airborne, a lot of dwarf stuff, maps and units, and yeah. So there are different people working on different things. Oh, this is it. This is the old unit. Okay, this is old tier 3, so the shield. Okay, let's see the sword first. I had 2 swords apparently. Oof. Yeah. A little yucky. The material isn't great, really shiny. The seam isn't very good, there's no imperfections. This part here just looks like a big chunk of metal, doesn't look realistic or anything at all. And the straps, not very good. You couldn't even really tell. So, yeah, not very great. This is old tier 3, by the way. This is what I'm replacing essentially. And then this is the second one. I don't think this sword was that bad. Can't remember. Yeah, this one was alright. It was a bit more rough. You can definitely see that seam down the middle there, which is not so great. And the straps were alright. This looks like a Pop-Tart, that bottom area. It's kind of the thickness and whatnot of it looks, yeah, kind of looks like a Pop-Tart. Not great. I'm going to try to be simulating some bands from now on the weapons in Marvelous. That's going to be something I'm going to try to improve this time, or learn. And now the shield, this was awful. Thank you, Pascal. Yeah, I did put a lot of love into Guards of the Teeth. That's why it's my favorite unit by far. Yeah, I don't want to be a hater, but it would be great for Warhammer. Yeah. This shield, I think it has if you're looking at it, the lighting almost looks wrong. That's because the shading on it is wrong. I have the wrong. First of all, it's incredibly just kind of warped here, texture, and yeah, there's a lot of problems with it. This is it, and it's also way too dark. Like I can't see anything from this. It's just a big chunk of metal. So yeah, that's it. I think the last thing I'll look at on the old unit, the chest plate, just so we can do a bit of comparison. A bit of comparison here. No, not this one. So just an old versus new. Have you already planned details or symbols? For example, drawing the Eye of Sauron on a shield with blood or something like that? Well, the thing is, those, for example, like, those little kind of details and stuff, I guess they can be added, but they are a big pain to add. But we don't do them, we don't draw them on designs. Those are called decals. Those are kind of things you can add, like the game can add randomly to a shield, for example, after or something like that. But they are kind of a pain to add, and Also, you only see those on a few shields, those kind of designs and stuff, and those drawings, for example, like in the reference here, you can see this guy's wearing Gondorian armor, right? It's as if, that he killed a Gondorian soldier and like just put his armor on, right? But the reason I'm not going to make this is because it doesn't, like, I can only make so many variations, and if you have like a massive army of soldiers, right? Like, let's just say I make 4 variations or whatever, or 3 variations of a piece of armor, right? And I want one of them I make like that Gondorian armor. Obviously, you can change the levels, but that means that like you have a disproportionate amount of soldiers, like orcs, that have Gondorian armor, which isn't accurate, right? You only see this show up like a few times, and I don't know how many times in my reference I've seen, a really interesting or kind of special drawn design, right, on a shield. Because if I just simply drew on that shape on the shield, it would show up way too often. So I have to make the most general things that capture the unit. So I have to stick with boring stuff, right? If I make every asset to be the most interesting one I see out of every picture, then the unit's going to look really weird. But I'm trying to capture the general gist of the unit. So that's kind of my philosophy, or how I approach those kind of design and stuff. Okay, so this is the old tier 3 armor, the chest armor, right? And we can see here, we can see the new one here. This is what the new one looks like. Holy. I think that's a bit more of an improvement over this one. I'm not gonna lie. I prefer this one. That's just my humble opinion, though. Ragnarok looks so good. Will you also make the tier 1 and tier 2 Minas Morgul unit, or are they low priority at the moment? Probably not. I don't think I will. That's not my kind of area. I agree on not putting Gondor assets. Yeah. It's just like the Gondor armor might have been a bit extreme, but just like for example, I could look in this picture here and find a really interesting looking helmet, something that looks kind of really stands out. I mean, this guy here has a pretty like intricate looking helmet. Actually, the helmet's right there, but like I don't know. Like this one here, right? This helmet shows up once. I see this once. I probably won't find something like it in any other picture that I'm looking at. That kind of exact kind of face covering mask thing, and I think I even sort of made this helmet in the old one, but because it doesn't show up so often, like what shows up more is something like this, right? This simple kind of cap. This one shows up a lot. This one, right? Ones that don't stand out too much, right? That capture the general gist of the unit. Pascal, don't worry. I will not be adding Gondor shields to or Gondor like things at all to this unit. So yeah, this tier 3 is already, the high quality's done. Fingus. Yeah, I might do some work on it, just because I don't know. It still seems like really flat in my opinion. Like the plates and stuff are nice and it works out and it works, but it still feels really flat. Like if you look at the pictures, there's a really good one. This one, you can see just kind of how spiky these spots are here, right? And mine really do not compare. So something I might do is I might redo Orkin Gondor to the yeah. What I might do is I might actually change the low poly and redo the high poly, and just so I can use the extra polys just to make this armor stand out, give those spikes, because I think this is what kind of makes the chest plate, is all those little arcs, and all the little spikes. So that's what I'll be probably. I might go back on this one. I do think I got all the plates right though, but I just need to fix the high detail. So we're almost there. Caden, always good to improve on what we created. Yeah, I definitely agree. There could be, I could always go back and fix so many things, but I think it's just that this unit was, which is supposed to be kind of the face of Mordor, right? The tier 3 is the iconic armor you see in the big battles, so this one really needs the work. That's just, I think this is the big reason I'm going back on this one. Okay. Before I got so distracted. Okay, let's finish this actually. I might start working a bit quicker, just so I can get, because I really want to get to the texturing phase here. Pascal, that's not a terrible idea actually. I might do that. I could keep a flatter one, and there is, I guess there are a few references here with some flatter things here. You can tell I followed the reference, I think. Like, it looks really similar to that one here. It looks like this one a lot. So, yeah, I can keep this as the flat version as a variation. That's a good idea, Pascal. But I probably will go back and add a spike version, because I really think the chest plate is like the coolest part of the armor. So let's go here. Thankfully, this part of the armor is like really easy to do. Let's go. Nice and easy. Mercy. Okay. Okay. And then, this is nice and, oops. I don't want to skip any gaps here. And here. That's a long stretch there, I guess. And I don't mind doing this. Okay. Well, let's go with these. These are, I can work with this easily. Okay. Yeah, I think you guys like spikes, so it's okay. So yeah, with that chest plate, it's not like I wasn't trying to get spikes. It's just that I essentially kind of failed at it. Like I was going for the spikes, but on the sculpt, which wasn't the right approach, because you can only get so much detail out of a texture, like so many spikes out of a texture, which was what I was going for. So I basically have to, I think, I have to do it with the model, which is gonna, it costs a bit more on your computer, but whatever. We want it to look nice, so we'll do that. But we'll keep the flat version, because variation. You guys also like variation. As for, will tier 3 have a shock unit with big axes or something like that? I'm gonna say, once again, look at the treble, but from my memory, it doesn't seem like it. I'll look right now, actually. I don't think so. Let's look. gonna go to Mordor. Let's find tier 3. Tier 3 has Uruk archers, Uruk throng, Uruk spears, Morgul legion, mountain trolls, and troll catapults. That's tier 3, so there is no axe shock infantry of any kind in tier 3 Mordor. However, yeah, and that's also tier 3. Essentially, Mordor is like almost finished, right? Like if we look through, I don't know, you guys can't see this here. Look, so Orc Rabble, we have that. Orc Rabble Bowmen, we have that. We don't have wolves. Raiders need to be redone, I think. I don't even know if we have a unit called Raiders. But I might work on that or something. I don't know. That might be something I have to do. Pillagers we have, but probably need to be worked on. Same thing with warriors we have, but need to work on. And same thing with pikes. Once again, just need to be worked on. We don't have Warg Riders. Mobile Orcs, I don't think we have that. Oof. That's ugly. I don't think we have that. And then tier 3 is technically almost done. Trolls we're working on. Like, we have these units that are finished, most of them, but we just need to, we're redoing these ones right now, is what you're seeing. And then tier 4, it's Oleg High, which is still being worked on, and Guards of the Teeth and Servants of the Eye, which we have. So Mordor is mostly finished, actually. And that's, yeah, Gondor, yeah, so there's still quite a bit, you can see here, like, there's quite a bit of work left to do. So yeah, there's yeah, there's still a lot there's still a lot to work on, but we're making progress actually. Like, we've got quite a few factions finished. Gondor finished, Dale, Isengard. I think Isengard is just waiting on what, some wargs? Yeah. Yeah, that's literally it. Once we get custom creatures going, Unliving is finished. Mordor, almost there. Easterlings, I think we got a fair. Easterlings, we have quite a few units on it, but not fully finished. Woodland, started, or never started, yeah, like, we're starting to get there. We're starting to get there. So, progress is all I can say, I guess. Can't say I have made I can't say I have made units for Angmar. Yeah, that was not me. I only made Mordor. The only assets I've made is Mordor, essentially. So that was not me. Yeah, I'm looking. Someone says Angmar is not in the main mod, just a sub mod. Yeah, so that was not me. And yeah, and also I didn't see it on the Trello list. So once again, I live by the book. I just look at the Trello list and see what's there. Okay. And oops. Okay. So we're done. This is done, and then it's just these 3 plates that are the same straps, and then this is done, and we can start the high poly. Alright. And oh, what the heck? That shouldn't be happening. And yeah, just do some edge work here. Boom. Alder called shotgun on art, did he? Okay, I was just saying I might work on something else. Like after, I'm excited to work on something else after Mordor. That's all I was saying. I didn't necessarily. You know what? Let's see. Let's look at the Trello list again. What unit will I do after? What faction might I work on? It's not going to be an evil faction. That is for certain. I don't even know. Maybe I don't know if do I have to work on? I don't know. If, like there must a lot of them are taken. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I don't know if Frusty is gonna. I know Frusty's working a lot on Erebor, but I don't know if he'd let me help him or work with him on Eredlin. I don't know, because I don't want to do goblins or orcs again. I would be sad. Maybe an elven faction. I don't know. Or Endwood Vale, we could see. Yeah, Elder probably took claim dibs on Arnor. That's unfortunate. Don't know if I want to do goblins. But I think that's also taken. Orcs of Grindelwald, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'll see. I'll have to look at more reference pictures and see. And Ladris is already being worked on. Fusti's work on Erebor. Lothlorien, I don't know. Yeah, I think also Manu is also working on that. And I might actually, I wouldn't mind trying Haradrim. Oh, is this? Whoops. Isn't that the public? That's the public Trello. Let me check. There's nothing on there that's sensitive. I don't think there's nothing here that's sensitive. I don't think I leaked anything. I think I'm good, Leggy. I think I'm good. I don't think I leaked anything. The only thing I might have leaked is said what some people are working on. That's about it. Okay, okay. I didn't go deep into anything really. I didn't spoil any of the big secrets. I think we're good. I think we're fine. But I didn't know. I'm pretty sure I thought that the cello was public. Okay. Okay. Because I don't know what it looks like if the perspective is different if you're looking the cello from like just the public, right, from the link. I don't know if I get a different view. Not too familiar with cello. I've only used it a few times outside of the mod, just for projects with friends. So, in terms of factions that I would work on after, I wouldn't mind trying dwarves or elves or Hadradrim seems really appealing. The different saloon, yeah. Alright. Okay, I don't think I spoiled. Yeah, okay. Thankfully I didn't spoil anything big there. That would have been unfortunate. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Now the chat's starting to go wild. Oh no. No spoilers, guys. No spoilers. No spoilers. Don't tell anyone else. This is a secret between us. Only the people here who attended the stream get access to this knowledge. Don't worry, there are a lot. I'm just letting you know, Pascal, there are a lot better artists than me on the team. So I would not be too upset that I'm not working on a certain faction. There is one guy on our team who's who started helping us with modeling. I'm not gonna say who, and I'm just letting you guys know right now, based on what I've seen, I would be really excited, like very excited, for what this guy has in store. No spoilers though. But just saying, he is doing some crazy stuff. And he's very good, despite being incredibly new. So there are some big things. But I think that's the most I'm allowed to say without before I get beat up by everyone on Discord. Okay. I really want to get this hypo, so I'm gonna start. I know I said this, but I'm gonna start speeding up again. Oops. Oops. Okay. Okay, and the last thing is this, and then we can move on. Okay, I'm not saying. Hey, I never confirmed anything about what I'm gonna work on next. like what faction I'm gonna do next, because I have no clue, and it really depends. Like it's gonna be, I think, fairly far enough in the future. So I did not confirm I'm working on Rad. That's not, you didn't hear that from me. Okay, this is okay, so I'm gonna save this because I did some work here. Apply this mirror and let's go unwrap. Unwrap. And this one's gonna be this was a thick one. Okay. Okay. Now, in terms of the shape here, like it seems to be pretty flat. I think from what I'm seeing in all my references, like it's not very spiky on the armor. As in, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like it's there's a few creases and lines, but this is a pretty flat piece here, so I won't have to do like very much here actually on the high poly, which is nice. It won't be super you know, it's not super complicated. That's nice. Like the high poly is not going to be that complex. Also, one thing I'm going to change is this. That's nice. Perfect. Okay. Save one more time, and then high poly time. This is what everyone's been waiting for. And this is my favorite part. I can move the, actually I might need the reference, so for the, I don't know how many of you have been here before, but this is the part where I do the high poly, and it's the same thing every single time. And I basically get to apply these. Subdivision surface, let's go 3 times here for extra detail. And then you go with the bevel. Bevel. And then you go by angle. And then you do 2 segments. And then what you do after that is then you change the angle. Where's the angle? So you don't get those sharp edges. There we go. Bam. High poly, mostly finished. The entire point of the high poly, it just kind of gives you, like, look how much, look at this, right? And you see all these, like, sharp edges and, you know, like, very blocky. But then you go here, and it's all nice and smooth and armor. Like look at the reference in the top right. It's a little sharper, but you know, the armor has almost just a tiny bit of rounding on the edges, and everything's all nice and arced and smooth, so that needs to be fixed. So before we apply this, I'm just gonna do this. Actually, what I'm gonna do first is make this easier on my computer. Holy, okay, let's remove this altogether. Just creating these edges, what I'm doing here is I'm creating these edges, and that will essentially get rid of that weird effect that you saw earlier. Because I don't like weird effects. And you shouldn't either. And then, I think that's it. Bring this back. Last thing I have to check, yeah, you see that? So that outline here is what the model should normally look like. This is kind of where it normally exists in space. And then you can see the gray, like the actual model, where it is now. It's so far away from the actual model, which is not good. So you have to like create these edge loops, which is what I just did with the other thing. And it just kind of puts it closer to where it's supposed to be, so it doesn't stray too far away. The only problem is I made this such high detail, and it's going really slow on my computer. I think my computer is like a pretty chunky one. So the only problem with what I'm doing now is you're gonna see the results. You're gonna see what happens when I get out of this view. You see that? Actually, that doesn't look that bad. We're good. That's definitely worth it. Yeah. Yup. Yeah. Yup. I don't want these gray parts to stray too far from the original model. Yeah, the high poly and the low poly should overlap a fair amount, right? Because this is the high poly here, and what you're seeing is the low poly underneath. And so these should be fairly close to each other at their kind of fundamental level, you could call it. It's good. Now, I think, yeah, the only problem is, like, I have to do this just to make sure everything is in the right place. And I don't like to do this, but let's go to, like, let's see the result of that. I think that makes everything, yeah, that's greatly improved. If I bring this back to that is not great. It's not ideal. Let's undo that. There's got to be a better way to do that. Maybe have this very weak. I think that's a good balance. Almost does nothing really. Let's try this. Will the units have banner carriers? That's not something I've thought of. I could, that's because essentially a banner carrier would be the general unit, and so you essentially just asking it why make a banner for this unit, and my answer to that is I think sure, you know what, yeah, screw it, I'll make a banner. Why not? So that's confirmed. Banner carriers confirmed. Okay. I think this is a good base for the high poly. So now I can move on to the sculpting. Oh my god, this thing is not mirrored. Oh, that's painful. Screw it, I'm mirroring it myself. There's no way I was gonna freaking. There's no way. Holy. Yeah, there's no way I was gonna redo all of that on the other side. save it here. Let's get on to the sculpt. Let's do that right now. Okay, I'm gonna make it. Do I make it back over this? I don't know if I want to. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. Okay, doesn't hurt. I'll delete this. I'll decide if I want this by the end of the stream or not. That backup. So let's apply all this. Okay, now we can get on to sculpting. And I don't think there's going to be too much to do for that. This is my favorite part of the process, but this one doesn't have much sculpting to do. So let's Dime Topo basically lets me free sculpt. And oh, this is laggy. Okay. First thing we do is just slightly. What is happening? Did I not select? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Whoops. Okay. Okay. Just kind of smooth out these here. Oh, Joe, were you correcting me from earlier for when I referred to them as unit generals? Joe has it right, guys. It is, in fact, they are called unit captains. Okay. I don't know what happened to that strap buckle section there, but we don't worry about that because if you look at it, first of all, I can fix it in when changing the normal, but when you'll notice that like that kind of weird stretching thing is really thin. I don't know if you can see it. That weird kind of stretching around here is really thin, and that means that when I'm baking it to get the details, it's not going to pick up on that because it's so thin. Okay. Now, I think, yeah, I'm just going to do some work on the edges here. And so I'm asking myself, I'm wondering to myself here, actually, you know what, okay, let's just, okay, now we're going to do just that little bit of edge wear that I do like every single time on every other model I've ever done. Do I have mirror on? Oh, I don't have mirror on. That was all not mirrored. God damn it, okay. I didn't really do much anyway, it's fine. It's all for variation. It's not mirrored because this thing's asymmetrical. It's just kind of touching it up, I guess. And yeah, okay. Now let's get to edge wear. Now there's a lot of edges on this thing. This thing's got a lot of edges. Why don't I start first of all with the little seams? So he's kind of got some seams down the middle. That's the wrong direction. Okay. Just gonna create a rough seam-ish down the middle. Very crudely made is kind of what I'm going for. Maybe a few of them. These aren't supposed to be meant to be very major. And something like that. This one kind of already has it here. So we'll just highlight it. That crease down the middle. You can kind of see them here. Okay. Sorry, I'm going a little quiet sometimes here, aren't I? Okay, I'll try to be more vocal in what I'm doing here. Okay. So let's look for more of these crease spots. So that's perfect. That's literally exactly what I'm looking for. Something that looks like this almost. You can't be. And let's just kind of crease this out a bit. Create those seams, those lines. Right here, get these in. Maybe I could have maybe wanted these closer to the edge here. That's fine. Maybe put these here. This. Okay. I don't know if we're gonna put those kind of little creases on all of them, because some of them just seem to be sort of just straight up flat pieces. So we'll maybe do one more down there. Because look at this, like look at that. That's completely flat, almost, right? Like in terms of the creases on top, right? Even this guy's here. He's got a few. You can kind of see the little ones show up here and there. That's sort of kind of what I'm. That's about, yeah, it's just kind of a few things there, so we'll continue going with it. Yeah, that. Do you already have an idea of how the unit captain should look like? Not really. I've never so far made units with captains. Like I've never actually done it yet. So this will be my first really. Maybe just you could call it just laziness, maybe, I don't know, but I usually just make the unit. But some people propose doing like something like Gothmog, but maybe just his armor, like not actually his face, because that could be a custom general. But his chestplate does look different, but most of his armor is the same, which kind of looks cool for a captain, right? Where it's like, you know, the same unit and everything, but the armor is just slightly different, something that differentiates him. So that might be a smart idea that I could try. And then I believe you guys wanted banners as well, so probably have banners, right? And that's probably about it, I guess. That's probably what I have in stock for captains. And I know a bunch of people want faces, like different faces and stuff and whatnot, but once again, I'm going to be working on that after this unit. But yeah, faces do take a while, because it's a lot of sculpting, and it's a lot of playing around. It's really hard to get, you know, natural looking faces, and there's so much variation in Mordor, right? All the faces look so different. Like, there's no two similar faces, right? Like in humans, you could get away with, like, you know, quite a few, right? Humans look like humans, but when you have creatures like orcs and Uruks, like it really is a bit of a hassle. But we'll try it, right? See what happens. Getting little sharp edges on this piece. I really like this piece that has kind of the good flow for these kind of corner edge pieces. I just noticed, are these like backwards almost? Oh, they are, but that's intentional. Right, guys? Right? Okay. Then bolts. I'm gonna do some bolts. Or rivets. Rivets. And slowly underneath there. Oh, heck. Was I lagging there? No, I must have been sculpting on the end of the leather strap. That's what I'm doing there. Okay. Let's try this again. The bigger area here. Factions like Arnor and Gondor should have their banner carriers at the left or right of their units. I don't even know if we could do that. That's not even something we can control, I don't think. I think the captain is always at the front middle. Okay, this is a freaking heaping rivet. That's not realistic. What the heck? Let's redo that. Like that's still also freaking massive, but you know what? It's a little characterized almost. Okay, that's good. Then we're going to assume that it's somehow also attached to this plate here. And just some rivets here. I like the look of rivets, you know, and they look really nice when you bake them right. Because you get like you get nice rust around them when you do the bacon right. You'll see the bake. Stick some smaller rivets on this side. Okay. Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hammer them flat, crease them in, do some edge wear, put them in real quick to I won't send them too long through the material phase and substance, and then this is a finished asset, and then that's probably when I'll end this stream. So I'm just gonna crease these so they look like they're hammered in, like so. I don't think we can control where the banner carriers are. I'm not too sure because that's probably a DB thing. Like it's not my area, but I don't think you can do that. My potato laptop won't even handle this. Okay, so the way you work is very different. I feel like your way is probably cleaner. This might work for very crude Mordor and not very detailed, but because you work in substance and stuff, and you're kind of dealing a lot with just materials and a lot of like, you know, baking instead of kind of hand, right? Like you make really good procedural materials, right? And then I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your details are a lot like almost you use textures, right? I bet you extract the textures. I think I'm not sure, right? To get your details right, which is probably smarter and a lot cleaner than what I'm doing is. But you work smart, is what I'm trying to say. This is a crude way of doing it, I would call it. Now this is somewhere where ZBrush would shine, because there's no really good way of masking the one object you're working on. Because if I want to like work underneath certain parts here, but like the top plate is like bothering me. Yeah, let's not argue about where the banners are, because I don't think we can do that, right? You only get it on the captain, and the captain is front middle, so we're kind of locked in on that. And I'd like to leave it that way. For rivets, I make a simple high poly. Okay, and then for ornaments, I do use alpha texture as baking too. Oh, yeah. That's the smart way of doing it. At least, well, Mordor doesn't have very many like intricate designs and stuff like that. Like you don't really have ornaments and stuff. So I guess it all is like has to be sort of hand sculpted. But I think this is let's do some edge wear just a bit. I'm not gonna do much because I'm a little sick of this. And a little bit of edge wear there. Kind of ruin that corner there with that. If it works, it works, but given this kind of high detail, it isn't even necessary to make the mod good. You guys just go above me on the call, so I apologize in reference. Thank you, Dark Right. I appreciate that. But you do, okay, so yeah, so when it comes to quality in the mod, at least for me, like the entire point of this is kind of a learning experience, right? Like I don't play the game, right? I make it because I like you guys, the community, of course. You know, I like to work on you know, a cool, grand and big project, but also like you, it's a growth experience, right? So you always want to figure out the best way to do something, especially like in something as repetitive as this, where I'm every single asset I make, I do the same thing over and over again, right? I make a low poly and then a high poly, and then I UV unwrap, I sculpt it, make materials, whatever. You have to, you know, every single time you have to refine it. So every single unit I've done so far has been different from the last, the way I've approached it or worked on it, just because I've found new strategies every single time. Like there's a big generational difference in each of my units. Like I could show you, each. You know, I'll go in game in a second and I'll show you the difference in my units from start to finish, and you'll see. And I haven't made very many units. I guess there's a lot of assets in each one, but like you'll see the difference. Like you'll see the jumps and whatnot. You can tell like there's a big jump in each unit, because I finished the unit and then I kind of reflect on it and say what could have been done better here, you know, what was wrong with this one. And like Morgul Legion, for example, Morgul Legion looks like they got pantsed, like the belt and everything is so low. I guess it does help contribute to the heaviness of the unit, but the guy looks like that. All the soldiers there looks like someone like yanked on their belt and just pulled it down to like they're all like low riding. That's something I noticed. Anyway, you only see that kind of after, right? So thank you, Oriol Guerrero. That's kind of easy. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate all the support. Okay. You know what? I'm calling this high poly finished. This is it. My eyeballs are gonna fall out of my head right now. Okay. I think we finished the soundtrack as well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, after this stream, I'm gonna go take a big, massive, like lunch/dinner, and then play some VR. I think I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so baking. Okay, so did I accidentally open my high poly? Okay, I did. I'm gonna save before I break something, because if I open this high poly, it's gonna break my computer. Am I selecting two things at once? What the heck? Why is... Okay. Only this. Okay. UV editing. There. That's my thing there. Go. Material. I'm going to move. I don't need my reference images anymore. And I have a baked material. Perfect. I go move these into the same spot, so they're overlapping. Shade smooth. Perfect. Now I probably want to split this up. So just an explanation essentially of baking is I'm shooting rays out from the surface, the top of the surface, onto the high poly, and then where the light ray bounces off, just shows the direction of that face, and then you create an image texture out of that. You shoot a bunch of those rays from a bunch of places above the surface, and it basically gives you all the details. Now, for example, if I shoot a ray, like let's just say I shoot a ray from, you see that kind of little spot here in the mesh that's underneath this other plate? Like there's this plate, and the part where they overlap, wherever you shoot, if you shoot a beam, because it's gonna, what the computer is gonna do is it's gonna shoot a ray intended for this face, for this plate, but it's gonna hit this plate before it hits this plate. It's gonna bounce off this plate, and it's essentially gonna give you this as a detail when it's not really a detail, right? Like it's not supposed to hit that, right? So the problem here with that is you basically, if I'm baking the straps here and shooting the rays out, it's going to catch these. I only want it to catch the shape like this kind of shape here, right? The strap, but it's going to hit the metal buckle kind of part here, which I don't want it to do. So I think I have to split this up into different parts. Is this the high poly? I think I selected the high poly, which I want. So I'm going to split it up into this part, this part, this part, this part, and then the 3 straps, or the 3 buckles. If I go Control L, perfect. And then I go, actually with this it would be better if I did, okay, this part, this part, this part, this part, that part, the 3 straps, split it up, this might break my computer. Okay, it did not break my computer. That's really good. Nice. Dark Rise. I understand I'm an artist in need of myself. Nice. So every time I draw something, I can easily see something that can be improved, and then I usually redraw it, yeah. Which leads to me being stuck on the same thing, because I have a hard time keeping my perfectionist nature in check, yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Going back and making sure everything is perfect, yeah. I know that for sure. Okay, I'll save this, because I don't want to mess this up. And then I need, the baking process then goes, I select my high poly. So yeah, I essentially split into parts that aren't really touching each other. And then this part is almost never really touching each other, right? All the parts are kind of far apart, except for that one strap and the metal plate, that's fine. So, high poly, low poly. Bake, and I'm gonna go normal. And I think that's good. Bake. And see the result. I'm just letting you guys know, I missed a huge discussion in the team. There's some stuff going on in the team chat that I really want to talk about. So I'm going to read up on that after this. Okay, let's go to UV editing. Okay. So I think the problem here, so these orange parts we don't like. I can't tell if that's because my rays aren't big enough or if they're too small. I think they are not big enough. So I'm going to increase the ray distance. Right here, there's a ray distance. This is how far above the surface it's shooting the ray. I'm going to double that. I'm going to bake it. Oh, also something I just noticed. There are 2 sides of this thing. Aha, right. No, of course. Why would there be? Whoa. So I believe I did this, this, boom, boom, and then the 3 straps. And then, so there's that, perfect. And these are separate, so I can go F3, join. So I only have to do 2 bakes. Perfect. Perfect. Hi, very good job, but your units seem really skinny. Yeah, I've gotten that comment a lot. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do on the thickness of the unit. Maybe I'll just scale up simply the chest area. We'll see. Okay. Okay, so bake this. So high poly, then low poly. Bake. Put on some music again because it's getting a little awkward silence, even though I'm the only one in this room. You know how it is though. Okay. Now, is that bake? Nope, it's still baking. Okay, it's finished. Let's check the result. Okay. So now you're gonna it's gonna look like there's a bunch of problems on these other parts, but those are not the parts I am baking to. So what I care about is this part here, this part here, this part here, this part here. So that's solid. I think that's a good bake. Let's go image, save as. And let's get the pauldrons. 1. Shoot. It's 0. And this is the normal map. This is the first normal map because there's 2. And then I'm going to do the second one. So it's this, and then the low poly. Bake. And just wait for it. Okay. Let's check. Yeah, and you notice the parts here that had issues before are now fine, right? And then we're just gonna delete these old parts here that are, because the other texture is good, right? The other texture that we have that we just baked is good. But then this one, yeah, so the good parts on this one are bad in the other part, and the bad parts on this one are good in the other part. We just delete them, essentially, the bad parts, and overlap them. And then we get a good normal all across the board. So that's the smart way of doing it. So let's save this, and then let's open up GIMP. Oh, we're almost there. Okay, open. I should probably pin this thing. Okay, let's pin it. I did not mean to pin Wraith. That's annoying. Okay. Mordor. Pin. There we go. And then it's tier 3, and then it's chestplate. It's not chestplate, it's pauldrons. Open. Open as layers 2. So now essentially, okay, this thing has a lot of faces, so okay. So yeah, so let's add an alpha channel so I can actually erase this and see what's underneath. Let's go to the erase and so essentially I need to find where there are problems and where there aren't. So for example, let's go here. I want to be on 100%, no, 50% zoom is good. And so we're all good here, except for that one spot there, this part here. So this part's kind of annoying, but I'm not a big fan of doing this, but it needs to be done. So yeah, essentially just erase what's underneath and get, yeah, so this part's good here. And this part, this might not be very fun to watch, but it's gotta be done. Yeah, usually work like this, it's very kind of grindy and it's nice when you're like listening to music and just kind of relaxing, you know, you're just kind of using your hands a bit, I guess. But I can for sure see, you know, a bit of disappeal, or, you know, when you're dealing with this part of the process. Is that okay, that's good on one part, but like not on the other, so I have to go in really fine for that. You guys are really quiet today, aren't you? Can't tell if this. Gotta be really careful because I don't want to erase like the good stuff, right? And I don't want to get. I don't want to erase. Yeah, the good stuff here. I only want to get back stuff that's good. You can kind of tell where there's going to be a good spot or not. Right, just by like, because I can guess right here that there's something good underneath. Yeah. Also the case here. Right. Whoops, and that. And if there's a good spot and you erase it, you're gonna get a bad spot. So that's just the rule. Right there is good. And what's good and bad is essentially where there's a strong color. If there's a weird strong color, then it's not good. Like this, that's not good. But underneath it is where the treasure is. And I'm sure you can pull some sort of moral out of that if you'd like. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just making one unified, good texture. Oh shoot, I have to scroll down. Oh, I'm like, oh man, this isn't very much. I'm already almost done. And I remembered. This is like half of it. This is pain, agony even. This is one of those things you wish like you had like a smart AI that could just, you know, do this for you. Okay, Sebastian, I'm glad you asked, because then I could talk about something. So, essentially what I've done here is I've baked, so there's this normal map, this texture, is what gives me the surface, like, detail. It's like, I have a model, and my model isn't very detailed, because I want your computer to be able to use it. So instead of oh, that's a problem. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. That's the underneath of a part. So essentially, I want your computer to be able to run the game, so I give you a model that you can run fine, and then I put a texture over it. And the texture has all the details that I'm not going to put in the model because it's not realistic. So yeah, now there's different textures that do different things. So there's a color texture, there's a shininess texture, it's called specular or glossiness or roughness or whatever. And then this one's called the normal. And the normal essentially, all you can see kind of looks like you can see the surface details of it, right? So the normal essentially tells you how light is going to behave as it hits the surface of the object, and what that means in the game is that you get a bunch of cool details. All these details you see show up on the model, which is good. However, what I've done is I've baked two textures, right? I've made two textures of this kind for different parts of the model, and now I'm just putting them together. So I'm just taking one. I essentially have, you see here on my right, I have the two layers. Normal 2 is one of the two textures, and then normal 1 is the other. And I'm just erasing normal 2 where the bad stuff is, and that shows me the good stuff with normal 1 underneath. So yeah, basically just putting two images together. If that made any sense. Yeah, Darkrai knows what I'm doing, so he knows the pain I'm going through right now. Because I can assure you this gets a little annoying after a while. It's just the strips are so freaking annoying. I hate these things. Yeah, we're almost gonna get to that finished product soon. We're almost at that point, but it's just, you know, you gotta push through it. Looking for problems essentially is what I'm doing. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Yeah. Because if I leave any of these out, it's gonna look really weird. Okay. Now there's some problems in the middle here. So this thing here. No problem, Wreck Nerd. I'm glad. It's good to see. Like, it's nice when you're working. Like, I don't usually hear anything from the community, right? Because I just kind of make stuff and then hopefully it's good. Right? The only person I hear back from is essentially the people I work with and myself on what I think of the stuff I'm making. So let's go hearing what you guys have to say. right? What you like, what you dislike, you know, or even if you just appreciate it altogether. That's it's cool to hear. It knows that, like, you know, what I'm making is, you know, it's making people happy. So it's nice to feel, you know. It's a good feeling. Okay. Oh. It was close. Even after we finish this, we're still not done yet. There's still some more we have to do. I'm a little over schedule right now, but it's, you know, whatever gets the project finished. Okay. Did not mean to do that. Oops. Okay, that's fine. So now now you can notice that this texture looks a lot better. Oops, that needs to be fixed. And I'm now almost finished. This is the majority of it done. So I'm going to save this as normal combined. Keep up the great work. You motivate me to work. Thank you, Waffles TV. I appreciate that. Sebastian, so you're putting them together. How are you knowing what is good and what is bad? So how I know is essentially, if you get these funky colors, so there's like a range of colors, and the color essentially represents the direction the light is coming from. So when I see, so you can see here, you can almost kind of see distinct shapes here, right? Now, if I look here, if you go here, this is the bad. You can see a lot of the bad stuff on this texture. So you can see here some stuff that shapes that don't really make sense. A lot of yellow. You see a sharp change in color, which means something's not right. And you see a lot of this yellow, just this distinct yellow, meaning that's just some kind of problem or bug, right? So when you look here and you see just kind of, you know, uniform color and uniform shapes, right? Then you kind of know, right, that this is good. It's just sort of a trained eye on what you're looking for. And also, you see these yellow. That's a problem. You see these colors that stand out. You can see it when it's standing out. That's good. That's not good. That's something I have to fix, and I will fix. But that's how you tell, essentially. If you see sharp change colors, or that yellow, or just shapes that don't make sense, I kind of know what my since I know what my high poly looks like, I know what shapes I'm looking for, right? Like you can kind of see how these details are showing up, right? This is my high poly, right? And if I look here, you know, I'm looking at this, right? I'm seeing the details on my normal map here. So that's kind of, you know, if this looks like this, your model, if your GIMP thing looks like your model, then you know you're doing right. Hello, Fristy. How's it going, man? Yeah, it's not long. I enjoy the work. You know, I like. It feels like a bit professional, right? So I enjoy the work. So yeah, it's good. I don't feel like super like lonely or anything. But I'll have a well-earned break after this. Okay, so now Sebastian, this is the part where I'm removing all those weird colors that I don't want, that are gonna look weird. They will look weird in if I looked at it in 3D, and you'll see the difference. I'll show you. You're about to see in like a few minutes what this means or what I'm doing. Like you'll see it, and yeah, just getting rid of any weird color spots. Zoom in a bit, and this one really needs to be fixed. I don't know what happened here, but it's not good. Oh, I think I know what this is. I know exactly what this is. Yeah, I know exactly which piece this is. And I need more powerful tool. Whoops. Where's my eyedropper tool? Let's fix that. Just clear out this area and then go back to this and make at least just a bit of a gradient, you know, make it seem almost natural looking. I know exactly what happened here. Well, I'm good for a stamp. I'm great. Just getting some work done. Yeah, that's right, dark right. Yeah, that's exactly. It's this. That yellow thing you saw there, that big thing, was that plate on top of this one here. Charlie, has any progress been made on the wars? I hate to disappoint you, man, but custom creatures are really not being worked on right now. It's a pain to work on the animations and the skeleton and stuff like that. Like modeling them and making them is not that hard, but think about you have to animate every single interaction that happens between a warg and a soldier, right? That has to be animated by someone, right? And then you have to make a full-on like professional rig for it that works really well. And we don't have very many animators, so like making it's not that hard, right? You can like making a Momokill, making a Balrog, right? Someone could do it, right? And maybe it'll take some work to make it look nice and realistic, but really the big thing is animating it is what I would say. That's the biggest challenge. So that's a little insight into why, you know, for example, trolls you felt like you've heard about trolls forever, but they're still not finished. Cohen, wish I could mod as well. Don't really know where to begin with learning this. Yeah, start from Blender Gurus on YouTube. That's definitely a really good one. Andrew Price, he's a super famous Blender YouTuber, and almost everyone has done this tutorial. It's like the donut tutorial. It's a classic. It's hilarious. It's really funny when someone shows me the donut thing and like, look what I made, and I'm like, I know exactly which tutorial you followed. That's a really good one. So I would go there, and yeah, Fusti is also right. Blender Guru is very nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna invert it. The green channel. This will just make it. The only reason you do this is just for Total War Attila, or maybe a few other things as well. But and export as. And this is the final normal. This is done. Okay, we're almost there. We're like 10 minutes from finishing. All 9 ring race being the mod. I don't know, man. That's not. You're looking too far ahead. We'll worry about very custom things after we finish all the factions. Okay, that's what I think that's my say, right? Finish the factions and then focus on things like custom generals and such creatures. Okay. Now is the part where we get to do the material, which is really fun. I really like that part. Oops. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to save this texture. Or export this model, sorry. Export FBX and then oops, tier 3 more? Yeah, this is it. No, Charlie, do not worry. No, you're not annoying at all. Don't worry. Feel free to ask questions as you like. Don't worry, I'm not annoyed. Yeah. Firsty, by the way, MVP right now. This guy is hard at work 24/7. This guy treats it like he's getting like paid millions for it. It's crazy. Charlie, you have a favorite units you worked on so far? Easily, Guards of the Teeth. I don't know if you've seen them. By far my favorite unit that I've made. Easily. I'm a big fan of the unit. So let's create new. Okay, so let's find the mesh. Actually, since we're in the texture area, we'll bring those in first. So go here, pauldrons. This is the one we finished. Let's add a model. Let's go to documents, models, tier 3. Okay. We've had a very, I can see the amount of viewers we have, just FYI, and it's been very constant this stream. It's very interesting. That doesn't usually happen. It's been incredibly like the same. I don't know if it's the same, all you guys are, or it's just the same rate that are going in or coming out. Okay, let's look for. Oh shoot, I forgot to do one thing. Okay. So essentially how this works is, okay, I'll show it here since I've done it. I have to restart this anyway, but I have a smart material, right? Basically, I have a smart material. I don't know if you're still here, Sebastian. You were asking about the normal map, right? First of all, this looks awful, right? So then you bake your mesh maps, right? Bam! It immediately looks a lot better now. But then you notice like there's no really cool or interesting details on it, right? Like this doesn't look bad, right? Kind of looks like a lot like in the movie, right? Actually, it doesn't, looks pretty good, I would say, right? Like it's pretty similar, but it's not quite there yet. So then you put in a normal map. So I have it here. Yeah, so Sebastian, I don't know, you can't really, it's not very strong actually, but I'll take it off and then I'll put it on. So this is no normal map. So it looks like normally. And then when I put in the normal map, you can begin to see the rivets and all the other textures and stuff there. Come on, you watched the donut. You know what? Okay, you know what I recommend? I recommend there's a really good anvil tutorial series, and it's actually really similar to like the kind of stuff we're doing here, right? Like making the metallic kind of thing, hard surface sort of like, the anvil one is really good. Sebastian, yeah, this is the difference. I don't know if you can see it. This is normal map, no normal map, and then it's gonna look even more different when I actually bake it with a normal map. Look what happens now when I so now, look at that. That looks significantly better, in my opinion at least, right? The rivets stand out. You get shiny spots, like right where those seams that I kind of placed myself are, right? You see those? They show up. Also, everything looks kind of smoother and gentler. Right? You can see that part stand out, so it's the normal makes a huge difference. That purple texture is what basically makes this this set of pauldrons here. So now the thing is, I made a mistake here. What is the name or vid or channel you're referring to? So this is Cohen. It's still Andrew Price or whatever, Blender Guru. Just look up Blender Guru. If you go to YouTube and you look up Blender Guru Anvil, it's the first thing that comes up. It's called Blender Intermediate Modeling Tutorial is what it's actually called, but it's a really good one. So Blender Guru Anvil will get you it, and it's called Blender Intermediate Modeling Tutorial. So that's a really good one. How many units are planned for Mordor? Charlie, I can refer to you in the link in the description of the stream. There's a link to a Trello, and Trello is essentially our organization board where you can see everything. Go there, and I think and there if you go to the Mordor faction, it'll show you like the list of all of them, just the names and description about them, and you'll be able to see all the units because that's essentially. I can't really name the number off the top of my head. I have to go there and count myself. Yeah, Cohen, that's a really good one. That is if you follow that one, that gets you like pretty prepped for stuff we do here. It's a lot of the same kind of processes. I think that's a word. Okay, pauldrons. So high poly, polygon. Now the thing is, I have to identify, since these straps are leather, and I want these. I want the metal bits to be different than these ones. The buckles to be a different metal material. I have to bake another thing called an ID map. So I'm gonna do that right now. So essentially, what I do is go here, get rid of this material. We call color 1. Make a new one here. Color 2. New one here. Color 3. Color 1, I make it like beige. This one goes red. This one is blue. And then essentially where I want there to be a different material, I change the color. So I go here. This is now red. Oh shoot, I have to because of the way I freaking do this thing, I have to So that's red. So if I go here so you can see it, essentially I'm differentiating these sections by color. So then I can apply different materials to them, and I'm gonna go so like and then this is going to be blue. And then this part here, for example, didn't select, which I don't like. Okay, perfect. So I've differentiated these spots by color, which is good. Right. Okay. Now what I do is I go to bake again, and instead of that, I do color. Where's it? Diffuse, and I don't this like bake. Oh shoot, I have to go back to shading, and I have to Shift A, texture, image texture, bake. And I have to do these for all of them. Bake. Shift A, texture, image texture, bake. It's selected in all three. Selected. Okay, perfect. Go bake. Get a bit of time. It's going to give me an image. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the color is, as long as the entire point is that where the color is different indicates a different material. So these, I can make it like 3 different shades of pink. I can make it red, green, and blue. And I can make it whatever color I want, as long as there's 3 different colors. It's going to display on a texture, and then I can basically pick materials for the color, if you know what I mean, right? It's just a way of separating the materials. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. So, okay, so let's check. So I'm going to save this one more time. And what I should have in my bake tab is, yeah, perfect, see? So this will differentiate for me where the materials are. So I can save as. And this is going to be, it's called an ID map. That's the name of this map traditionally. And then I have to restart this now, unfortunately, which is tragic. So get in my pauldrons, and then I go here and I find it's here. That's annoying. And pauldrons, and then I bring my ID map and I'm like, oops, only the normal map that I want. And so, for example, you see the reason these are transparent? Those are the faces I deleted earlier, really early in the stream, because they're like, it's like the faces underneath, but you're never going to see them, so I got rid of them. But this is what it looks like in game, right? You can't you see through it. It's like see through. So that's why when you're playing the game and you have like the tunic here and the actual character and whatnot, you never see these spots, but it just saves performance. So that's just why it seems a little invisible when you look through it. So I have my pre-made material that I made before when I made the helmet, and I can just and then yeah, so you get to watch the stages. So normally no maps, no nothing. Look at this material, looks pretty awful, right? And then you go here, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna step it up a bit, and I'm gonna bake mesh maps, and major improvements. Looks a lot better, a lot more realistic. But you know, still could use some work. Really flat, right? No details. So now, what we do is we do the next step, which is then we add our normal map that we made. Here. And now this is the normal map we made, and you can see these faint details right here. Nothing really much, nothing big. You can see the rivets just kind of peeking out, and there's some whatever here, but nothing much, right? So, but then already a bit more of an improvement, and then we bake again, but this time we bake it off the normal map. So the baking essentially gives us more textures that give us more detail. So it's gonna bake off the normal map, so it's gonna consider that the normal map, like the details from the normal map, are part of the original mesh. So it's gonna start highlighting, putting rust around rivets, highlighting the metal parts that stick out, so those kind of sculpted lines that I put there. And bam, I think we have a pretty solid set of pauldrons. I think these look, you know, pretty good. I like the look of them. These look pretty sick, actually, and I think they look quite a lot like the movie. Whoops, that went out of frame. Right, these I think we're in movie territory, so. The movie seems a bit blue. At you, look at the concept art. Look at these. These are like wafers. Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry about thickness of it. Yeah. Like if you look at the concept, I'm basing off the concept. This is thin plate armor. Like this is pretty heavy stuff, right? So you don't want much of it. Yeah. So now the ID map, which is what I was just doing, that weird color thing. Now I'm gonna go here to my smart materials. And let's find thank you, Antonio, by the way. I'm glad you appreciate the mod. I'm just gonna look up leather. And I do have Rise of Mordor leather right here. I don't know the difference. Okay, let's see Mordor actually. Okay. Mordor leather. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm gonna get rid of the mask. And then I'm gonna do add mask with color selection, and then the mask is the one I brought in. And I only want leather on those spots. Wow, that did not work. I think I know why. It's because this metal's on top. Yeah, that's what it is. Now, this leather does not look very great, so I'm going to have to work on it. First of all, it's like super pixelated for some reason. I don't know why. This looks like a barcode or some sort. Like a... It's not very good. Okay, where's So this blur, I know I always want to decrease that. That's not it. Leather pattern, maybe the scales. Yeah, that's what it is. Why is it so low res? Is that just how many pixels I actually have for this thing? Okay, so I'll do that, and then I'll increase the blur a bit. Well, first, it is incredibly helpful. It is very, very, very helpful. I don't know what I would do without. Yeah, because you'd have to like paint this manually. It would suck. Change the blur on that because I still want that kind of leather pattern, right? But then now this looks like kind of almost too clean. Also, it's really shiny. It's like really dark when you're not looking at it in the light, right? It only shines in the light, so it's too shiny, right? So first we'll make it more shiny in general, and then leather is not. I don't think it's known for being incredibly reflective. So it seems a little dark. Also, I kind of want, I like the gray looking kind of. This is too red, brown, dark as well. So we're already in much better shape here. Thank you for first the ID map is very helpful. It's a neat trick, yeah. It's a definitely a useful one. Now I know there's edges highlight. This is a cool one. Kind of want to emphasize this one. Well, I like this one. I don't know if I. So is this even noticeable? Not really, I don't know what's happening here. It's actually the generator, yeah, so I can change the generator here. Ah, okay, so. Kind of, this is what I want, right? And then I want, like, no contrast. Yeah, I want the blur. So I get this, so I want it darker in the middle, and then I change the blur. I could definitely work on my leather material. For this one I'll leave like this, but when I get back to it, like for something like my next unit or something like that, I'll definitely need to work on making a better leather material, because this one kind of sucks. Base color, maybe make it a little brighter. Sickly gray leather. I don't know. I think this is good for leather. Then let's change these the buckles material. Maybe I was thinking like a bronzish kind of thing. So let's. I could just take my normal material that I normally have, right, and then just change it. So here, and then I can do the little trick I did. I have my ID map. Bam. And then I change the color of it. Base metal. Let's make it yellow. Okay, yellow. More like a brass. Now, my guess is that all these bits are shiny, and that's why you can't see anything. So if I choose the specular, that'll probably do it. I can't tell if anything. I really can't tell if anything's changing. Why is this not doing what I want it to do? Let's change to yellow. Confused. Is it this? No. What is happening? What? Interesting. I don't know what's maybe it's like I think the fact that there's just so little model. This is all just there's so few pixels on this part here. Like it's this, right? There's just so few pixels here that I can't really do anything to change it, so that's staying as is, I guess. Regardless, I think these are some finished pauldrons. Luke Reiner, thank you. I am liking the look of these. These turned out really nice. So I'm gonna save these first of all. Holy, I am freaking tired. Okay. I completely lost my voice. Pauldrons. That's not an underscore, that's a plus. LOD1, okay. Holy. Thank you, Drac. And thank you, Ragnarok. Alright. So that's, I think, some good work for today, so let's see here. So progress-wise, let's go back here. And let's go back to this form. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a little bit. I wasn't working very efficiently today, I don't think. So is this the where's the? So this is what I don't need anymore. Okay, let's get this. Boom. Tunic. Maybe this helmet. Let's get the chest plate again. The bracers. The belt. So some decent progress. So now the pauldrons are okay. So we have essentially helmets, pauldrons. Okay, helmets like done essentially, like they're textured. Pauldrons done and textured now, finally. Chestplate textured, but I will have to revisit. So they are kind of like technically kind of done, but yeah, this is I already showed what it looked like earlier. Bracers, none of them done yet. Still need to be done. Belt not done. Tunic done. Gloves not done yet. And then I need to model everything else and whatnot. But let's see. So this is saved and whatnot, and then we can probably look at some of the other stuff here. I believe I already showed a lot of this stuff in the preview. It's mostly just the helmet. I think you guys have seen these. Right, helmets. Another helmet here, I think. Yeah. Another one here. And the last one, this one I'm not, I don't know how I feel about this one. Not my favorite one, but we'll see. We'll see how everything looks in game. But regardless, this unit will be a big improvement, I think, right? It'll look a lot better than the last one. Chestplate needs a bit of fixing. It's not spiky enough. I think that's what you guys described it as, which we'll fix. And then tunic. Which I'm a big fan of. Tunic here, and then last thing. And then what we just did today was pauldrons. Pauldrons today. And then we'll keep going with it. Alright. I think that's I'm definitely gonna wrap it up now. Because I'm exhausted, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys learned a thing or two, hopefully. And yeah, we'll keep going. I won't be able to stream for a while because I work now. So probably like I really only will probably have time on like the weekends and stuff. So it might be like another week where you'll only be able to hear about it on a weekly basis where I stream. And I want to thank you guys for popping in, and I just hope that you guys learned a thing or two or enjoyed what you saw and stuff. Thank you, Prusty. Thank you. Yeah, and we'll keep going with this unit. Hopefully we fix tier 3. We make it right. And yeah, I'm gonna end the stream now, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.